Welcome to episode 1 of the Miata build. I am going to start with the back half of the car. So I have a lot of parts. A lot of parts from Taylor, a lot of parts from the guy up in Jersey that I bought some stuff from. I have a lot of parts in general. But going through everything, I have everything for the rear half of the car, differential wise and all that kind of stuff. And I ordered the rest of the things I need and they came in. So with the bigger axles, they have bigger splines at the hub size. You needed broached hubs from Monster Miata, so I have the hubs, but then I need new wheel bearings. So I ordered some timken wheel bearings, ordered new wheel seals, ordered axle seals for the diff. Bearings in the diff felt all right, so I'm gonna leave those for now. I have pretty much everything to assemble the rear half of the car, so I'm just gonna start there, get that done and dusted, and then move on from there. I don't really know what my next step will be. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. It's not overwhelming necessarily, but there's a lot of stuff I have to do. And to get the rear just checked off the list will be super satisfying. So I'm gonna jump right into that and let's get that started. All right, I got the diff and subframe mated. I did this outside of the car. Seemed like the easiest option than trying to fish all this in and get all these bolts situated in the car. All the control arms and things of that sort I'm going to do in the car. To me, working alone, it's going to be just easier and lighter to put this in, like set this on the jack, put this up into the car, and then bolt everything to it separately. If it was all one manner, one piece, I don't think I could do it alone, honestly. Just seemed like the best option here. But yeah, diff's in, put some new axle seals in there. Should be good to go. Bearings felt good, everything's welded. I snugged all these up because when you do RTV, you just you like hand tighten them, let everything get tight, or dry up, I should say, and then you snug them down. That's how RTV works technically. Got these tightened down, these tightened down. Diff and subframe mated. Probably gonna tear apart the car here next and get ready to start doing the old switcheroo. Also, if you noticed, yeah, this is loose. I can't fill this up till it's in the car and the correct, not upside down, or else it's just gonna come out of the vent right now. So this is just hand tight until everything is assembled. Got the car turned around. Just kind of jammed the front in the corner, put a couple parts inside, but I'm gonna jack the rear up now, toss that on jack stands, pull the wheels off, and then just start disassembling the whole rear end. that went way faster than I thought it would. It only took me 2:30 a.m. I don't know what time I started, 1:30 maybe, 2 o'clock, probably 2 o'clock. Yeah, whatever. Subframe, arms, control arms, hubs, all that, knuckles, coilovers. I did this side off camera because you saw that side. All that's out. Pretty clean under here. I gotta clean the gas tank a little bit and just kind of that area because I did have an axle boot break on both sides. Shoot grease all over, which is all this stuff. So I'll power wash all of this sometime this week if I get time. Make sure it's all clean before I put it back together. I hate putting dirty stuff back together because your hands look like this. And then, yeah, I think that's that for tonight. It's raining really gnarly right now, so if you can't hear me, I apologize. Everything's clean, power washed everything as you saw. I have to go through and pull all these hubs off, push the bearings out, push new bearings in, push new hubs in, and then put new wheel seals on. But I went through and greased all the Zerk fittings in each bushing, so everything's all nice and lubed up now. These are all pretty torn up. I have a whole bag of them somewhere I have to find, so I'm just gonna replace them. But all this is pretty much clean and ready to go back in the car. Probably do the subframe first, get that situated, and then take it piece by piece. I'll save these last and just do this because that's like one of the last things you put in anyway. And then my calipers are pretty dirty, so I'll clean those before I install everything. But coming together, the rear's gonna go pretty quick. Crazy enough, I think the subframe is ready to go in. So put a rag on there to try and not scratch my new paint. This thing's gonna be heavy. I've got to figure out my best option here. Let's just kind of go for it. Oh man. Okay. I kind of made some progress. Oh, that's not good. Worst part about having epoxy floors is you're always so nervous about them. Okay. It's a good step. Now, I have to get that under there, under there. All right, so now that the subframe is pretty much in, I left everything just a little bit loose. I will go through and take measurements, not like precise, because you literally have like a 30 seconds of an inch, if that, to have wiggle room. But just make sure it's centered, and then as far either forward or as back as it goes, I'll probably pull it, I don't know, I'll probably go backward just to make life easy. So that way, you know, like these studs in there are all the way at the front of the holes on both sides. Your subframe isn't cattywampus in there, left or right, or up or down, or whatever. And then, like I said, check left to right as well. It's such a minimal amount, it really doesn't matter. but with how tight my fitment is, it actually does. And sometimes I'll go through, assemble the whole car, get it aligned, and then I'll loosen these 6 subframe bolts and shift the subframe that like 30 seconds of an inch, just to make sure the wheel gapping's correct, which it's probably the fiberglass more than anything, but you know how it goes. So that's that. Yeah, I'm gonna check alignment, check straightness, check centering, snug those 6 bolts down. I should say 4 nuts, 2 bolts, and then reassemble like the brake line assembly. I didn't disconnect anything, so I won't have to bleed it. So I'll just pop all that back in, put the clips back in, bolt that block back on, the distribution block, or separating block, whatever. And reassembly will start, which is like the super fun, exciting part. I'm excited. So let's get into that. As long as everything I did is right and it's tight, should be good. So let's see. That is a 93 plus subframe with the Ford 8.8 out of a 97 Cougar with welded mounts, Monster Miata mounts, poly bushings, mounted in my car. So that's sick. The diff hangs like really low. Let me see if I can pull you guys off of here. Oh, wrong direction with this thing. It hangs like real low. The problem is I was scraping my subframe brace, that old one over there on the ground, and that was about as low as the diff is. So that's a little bit concerning. I guess this skid plate or these braces for the subframe will hang a little bit lower. Maybe I'll have to end up building a skid plate, or we'll see how much the car squats. Maybe I'll have to raise it or something with all the horsepower. But yeah, subframe's in, diff is in. I have to fill it now and tighten that plug and reassemble, but it looks pretty sick back here. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of jump right into it. That's all there really is to it. I'm just gonna time lapse or whatever I've been doing and knock this side out, and I'll get back to you when I'm, I don't know, most of the way through it. I've realized that's about as far as I can get on each side until I finish the hubs. I'm not sure how I'm going to pull the hubs out of the spindles yet. I might just use my press and push them through, or I'll go grab a slide hammer from Advanced Auto or something and pull them out. In the meantime, this is about as far as I can get on either side. So yeah, I guess that's that for now. I did the first one to make sure I know what I'm doing. It did not go easy at all, actually. And I even have a press. So I am gonna show how I did it on that one, on this one. And you can watch me struggle. Well, hopefully I won't struggle as bad now that I know what I'm doing. But yeah, that was kind of sketchy. Okay, step one, don't ever use wood in a press. It compresses. Doesn't do you any good, but I don't have enough steel spacers, so this is what I'm using. Do as I say and not as I do. Okay. I did pop it before the camera came out because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. Now to do the bearing. First, snap ring. Forgot about that. The last one was in here real tight, and it made a real loud bang. So I found this in my lathe. This is like perfect. And metal, 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 metal. That's what you want. You want it centered. And now the bearing has a little bit of movement before it bottoms out, which is why I have this flat. Once I have it popped down, I'll use 2 of these to like go on either side of it. But we'll do this for now. See if I need heat or not. Oh, this one went easy. Okay, that bottomed out. Now I can use this, the curved side. Curved side. Go on either side of this. Come back in here, push it the rest of the way. This one doesn't look great. This one looked like brand new, the grease inside's mint. This one's a little more black. Same brand, just opposite wheels. Interesting. But that's that. Now this is done. I gotta pull the wheel seal out of it. Just pops right out. Clean this a little bit because it's kind of gross. Probably put a coat of paint on it because it looks kind of rough. And then press the new ones in. I was gonna keep working on these, clean these up, do whatever I have to, but it's 2:30 a.m. already, so I think that's where I'm gonna call it a night. I get up at 9 o'clock to go work out, so time to clean up, put tools away, and resume this tomorrow. How fun. I couldn't get myself to install everything dirty, so I had to put some paint on it. Not even dirty, but marked up. Now we're good to go. Reassembly will start now. Upper arms I just built like one event ago, so they still look good. I did the other one and it actually went really smoothly. I don't want to jinx this one, but that one did not come in a bag. Hopefully that's not a big deal. Which way did I put out? Doesn't matter. Cool. All right. So I put it in the freezer. You can see it's kind of frosted. If you don't know, that shrinks the diameter of it. I mean, Greg Peters did a video on it. It was like 0.00 something millimeters, but it helps a lot actually. Put a very small layer of grease in here. I'm gonna set this in. Wow, it kind of almost fell right in, which is a little bit concerning. That's fine though. Use the old bearing. You want to push on the outer race. You push on the inner race, it'll break the bearing. Push on the outer race, it'll work. Put that on there. It's going really easy, which is, it's good though. It's getting real tight now that it's reaching that temperature. You're gonna go until it bottoms out. There's a lip right there. There's a lip inside the spindle that it stops at. So I'm just gonna double check that it's at that lip. The other one kind of gave me a false reading. So another thing, there's a groove in here where the C-clip sits. Yeah, we're bottomed out. C-clip will fit. So do that real quick. See if I can extend you guys up a little bit. Oh yeah. I need a new pair of C-clip pliers. Harbor Freight ones are not good. All right, which way did I put that one? That goes up. I try to put the bottom in. Oh, right in. So now these are done for the most part. I just have to push these hubs in. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze these as well. I'm gonna let these get up to room temperature. or throughout the day. It's 1:15. I gotta leave for work in a little bit. I'm gonna let these get to room temperature. I'm gonna freeze these while I'm at work, and then the same thing, room temperature, it'll expand. I can even heat them up, but they're bearing, so I'm not gonna do that. They'll expand, these will shrink, should press right in. I'm thinking about doing ARP studs, but I can do those in the future as well if I want to. I'll think about that. If I assemble them tonight, you know I didn't do them. I had the wheel seals in the freezer as well. These just kind of pop right in back and kind of seal your axle in. I should just kind of, I'll have to use, I'll use a rubber mallet or something and pop those in. Not a big deal. They're not super tight fit. They just kind of protect the inner race a little bit. So don't forget those. Easy enough. When you're in the middle of everything like this, it becomes a mess. As you can see, I ran to the store and got gear oil for the diff and all this kind of stuff. It's a good time to just clean up in between. You don't want a mess to work around. So I'm gonna lay out the bolts, put the cardboard back away, put my snap ring pliers away because I'm all done with those. Also, always go through and like tap them. Make sure they're seated. You can kind of tell visually they're seated. Whoops. But doesn't hurt to check. Yeah, those are all good. Those are tight. So just put everything away, clean up a little bit. I edited the first half of this video, or however much, and I realized how monotone I sound. I either film after I work out, before I go to work, or when I get home from work. Like right now, it's 1:05 a.m. I just got home from work. So I apologize for that. Second thing, I didn't realize that time lapses do not have any sort of volume. If I take a full video and speed it up, you just get like the sped up sound, and that's better than nothing. So I will do that from now on. I apologize for that. I decided I'm going to do ARP studs in the hubs. I figured you've got your engine, which hopefully lasts, and then that goes to your clutch. I've got a good clutch. So then that goes to your trans. I've got a good trans. It goes to your drive shaft. Got a good drive shaft. Goes to your diff. Have a good diff. Goes to your axles. I've got great axles. Goes to your hubs. Your hubs should be fine. That goes to your lug studs, these bad boys. I don't want to break those, especially if I'm using small slip-on spacers. So I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade them to ARP. They were like 150 bucks. I figured I'd rather rely on those than break them. So I already pulled them out of one of them. Pretty darn simple. You just go like this. So what you want is a socket bigger than the head of the stud. Goes like that. Pretty simple. You come in here, and you're going to literally, doesn't even really take effort. Pushes them right out. Boom, done, on to the next one. I'm gonna time lapse the rest of this so it has volume. Alrighty, those are done. Pressed out, nice and easy. These have a little surface rust on them. I'll clean them up, but the other ones come in. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put it this way, feed it in here, go like that, push it in. I'll show you when they come in, probably in like 4 days, 5 days. I'm just getting home from work. It's 3:10 right now, a.m., 3:10 a.m. But I'd like to get these done, even though the car won't run probably till next year. That's what I want to do. I got the studs in. I ordered the wrong kit, but these 8 are correct, so I'm just going to press these in. I did that hub already. Wanted to make sure I knew what I'm doing before I video it and look stupid. So let's cut these open. Be careful with the X-Acto knives, they'll get you. Okay, pretty easy. So obviously you want your studs coming out this way. Slip them in. Sometimes they kind of can like find a groove. This one's not really. And then the letters on here, the other ones I kind of did that direction, so I'm gonna match that. Not that it matters. Put a socket on there. You want it bigger than that. Put it under here. Make sure it is happy and straight. And then give me a little rod. Everything looks good, straight, lined up, center of the socket. Press it right in. So it bottoms out. Now you have a pressed in, extended ARP stud. Make sure the head is flat on here and you're good. So I'm gonna knock out the rest of them. That's that. All 4 are pressed in. Looks good. Everything's great. If you're asking yourself, hey, I don't have a press, how am I gonna do this? What I did on my truck, because I didn't have a press at the time when I did my truck, and I have extended studs in my truck as well. You would put the studs in, I guess I should have showed you before I finished them all, until the knurling was kind of getting ready to go through. You put like a couple washers or a big nut, something of that sort, and then a lug nut on. And then as you tighten the lug nut, it pulls it through. Obviously that's a little bit tougher because the splines will want to spin. And you could also hammer these probably. I've never tried that, but a press is easiest and these aren't that expensive. You can find them on a marketplace for a pretty good price. So all 4 of these are pressed in. All 4 of the heads are flush. I checked the other one to make sure it fits in the wheel fine. It does. There's plenty of room. So these are done. I'm going to toss these in the freezer. And then I will press these into the rear spindles, rear knuckles tomorrow, once these are frozen overnight. I'm gonna make sure on the other one, they're pretty good, but I'm gonna make sure all the heads are flat on this one as well, just to make sure everything's perfect. And then I'm gonna call it a night because now it's 3:15 a.m. It's only Monday. I probably have another couple days of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest after I check all these. As I've done with the last couple things, I just do it first to make sure I know what I'm doing and that it goes smoothly. And then I'll show you how I did it. So I got this one pressed on. I don't use the dust shield or rotor shield or anything like that. I don't really know why. I don't care to. It's a race car. I'm not worried about anything going on with it. Got this one pressed on. Everything spins smoothly. Studs are pressed in. It's as good as it's gonna get. I put a really small amount of grease on the inside of the bearing, and then I wiped it out with a microfiber. So that way it's just got like a little bit of a residue, nothing crazy, because obviously you don't want these spinning in there, which it never really should. Your axle goes through the hub. This is just kind of a support, but you know what I mean. Nice little thin layer. Hubs are in the freezer, obviously, to shrink them. Everything should go smooth again. I used, you have to support the inner race. If you do not, you'll just push this right out. So I used this piece again that I found in my lathe. I don't really know what it was for. Fits about perfect on the back side. I put it in here, and then I have an aluminum plate, which you don't really need this, I guess. I just wanted, honestly, this would probably work fine, but I liked having this inside of the hub just for something to push against. And I'll show you that now. I'm gonna get it all set up and push the other one in. You wanna move kind of quick because this is expanding as you're sitting here. So let's take this, get your spacer on the inner bearing, line that up nice and straight. I probably have to bring this up a little bit. And now center this on there so everything looks straight and happy. Like that. I'll center that on your press. Right about there, looks good. Like I said, this is all kind of wonky. The last one sat perfect, okay. And then you put this in here. Oh, I should have done that first, hold on. Okay. And that just sits on that ring, keeps everything nice and level to push it together. I'd say we're pretty good to go. I don't know why it's so wobbly. That's on me. As soon as I tighten it, it should be good. Everything looks straight, everything looks pretty happy. And it really just presses right in. Until it bottoms out. Don't go crazy with it. You just want to make sure it's bottomed out. And that's that. It's pressed in. Spins nicely. You'll see this is kind of like, it's not flush with this thing, but it's flush with like the whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's that. So now this was the last piece. I can assemble the whole rear end of the car, which is super exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and clean kind of everything up. I don't need any more. No reason to have a mess right now. And get the back of the car together and then spin it around. So that'll probably be towards the end of this video. I'll just video me putting it all back together, and then that's that for this one. Once again, I should absolutely be going to sleep right now. 2:40 a.m. It is what it is. I'm gonna get into it. I got the other side assembled. I had to order a new socket because I didn't have one big enough for the axle nut, and it's a really tight fit into the splines. So I had to like use the axle nut to thread it through the hub. But other side's assembled, everything's together. The axle's very close to the coilover, but it does not hit. So keep an eye on that once I get it aligned and adjust whatever I have to. I'm gonna jump into this side and get this side done. Oh, I should add, I squirted a little bit of oil in the like axle holes. Once you weld plates in there, that's completely separated or divorced from the rest of the oil. I greased the bearings a little bit as well, but figured it wouldn't hurt to put just like a squirt of oil in there. Keep everything kind of happy, lubricated. I don't know if it matters at all, but these clips on the axle are on the top on the other side, so I'm gonna do them on the bottom on this side. Again, shouldn't really matter, but I'm going to. Simple as that. That's in. I'm gonna put a bunch of never sees on here, because if you are a Miata owner, you know how these get stuck sometimes. So I'm gonna drench it pretty good. Comes with a spacer. I had to email Martin at Master Miata. I wasn't sure if this is used as like a washer or a spacer. He said this goes here and it keeps the axle away from hitting the hub, I suppose. So now it is time to introduce the hub to the axle. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten all of these now, because these should be in enough and in place to where it's good. You're supposed to technically do it once it's compressed. I personally don't believe in all that. It's meant to rotate and compress and stuff anyways. It'll be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. That is all tight now. So my only concern is how tight the boot is to the coilover. It's a little bit concerning. I don't know if I can lift the coilover a little bit more and just raise my rear height, or if I want to just add a little bit more preload on the spring. I'm not sure yet, but I'll have to figure something out, because that is very tight and I do not want to tear a boot. But that is that. I'm gonna go ahead and, sorry, this gimbal's funky. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rotor and caliper and stuff on, and that's the next step. All right, so I think this caliper shot. The pads on this side are gone and the other ones are brand new. And it won't slip on the rotor well, so that's kind of annoying. I just sold all my stock calipers, so that's also kind of irritating. I think I'm gonna call it here for tonight. I think I'll see if I can free this caliper up, but it's hitting 3 a.m. now, so it's probably time to go to bed. It's kind of together. It's coming together. I'm pretty exhausted. I'm kind of beat. I'm on 712s right now, so I'm exhausted, and there's no hurry on this, so I might as well just wait. So I'm gonna call it that for tonight. Okay, I ended up not going to bed. When I tightened this a little bit more, it pulled the axle in more, which gave me a little bit more room here. Still pretty tight, but those should move in parallel, so it should never really change, hopefully. I'll check it obviously as time goes on. I got this caliper on. I swapped pads from one side to the other, but like I said, those pads on the other side are pretty dead. So I don't know if I should order another set or figure out why this caliper is eating pads. The e-brake does not work on this side, which is not a big deal, but I cannot test my hydro right now alone. I'd have to have someone pull it and see if it's engaging this caliper or not. The piston does move. I did retract it, so I don't know what's going on with this side, but looks like I got some surface rust or something building. It's all back together. The axles are in, diff is in. So that is pretty much the full rear end. I will put wheels on it. Oh, I gotta tighten the alignment bolts. I keep forgetting that. But that's pretty much it. I got the front of the car jacked up to make it level. I'm gonna fill the diff now. You have to have the car level because you take the fill plug out and you just pour oil in it until it pours out of the fill hole. And if you have the car leaning forward, it'll take more oil because it's at an angle like this now. You fill it up, and then when you bring it back to level, it'll go up above the fill hole. I did this on when I was 1.8 drivetrain and ended up pouring out of the vent. So make sure your car is level, fill up the fill hole. I'm gonna do that now. I Googled it and it says it takes 75, 140, so I went with Valvoline full synthetic in the squeeze bag because this thing's sick. They killed it with this design. I think it takes like 2 and a little, so we'll just start doing that. Make sure it's pretty. That's that. Diff is filled. That went quite a bit faster than I thought it would, to be honest with you. I thought this was going to take like multiple weeks, which it kind of did because I had to wait for a lot of stuff, but it's all together. And that's the whole rear end. Everything is assembled. All the bolts are tight. I'll go through and double check them actually, because I should do that. Bolt check your stuff. And then I'm gonna go ahead and assemble it. Well, put the wheels on, put it back on the dollies and spin the car around. Call this done and dusted, which is a huge step. So that way, now I can focus on the front half, cutting up the bay, finding an engine, fitting an engine, getting the subframe and stuff painted, pulling apart the whole front end of it. I'm gonna wait to do that until everything's kind of together. I have to decide what color I want to paint the bay and how I want to address the engine, if I want to do just like a nice black wrinkle stuff or what I want to do. So that's on me. I just have to choose that. But the whole rear end is done, which is awesome. So that was a Ford 8.8 out of a 1997 Cougar with the obviously independent rear suspension. And then you have the rear hanger, the front hanger. Those are from Monster Miata. The axles are from Monster Miata. The subframe is out of a like 93 to 97, I believe. They came with the updated ones with the braces, which I will fit those once the exhaust and the drive shaft is in, so I can see what's gonna hit what. I may end up just having to use the rear only. Hopefully I can use all four corners of it. I might have to make a cross bracket. We're gonna find out when that time comes. But I'm not gonna paint it and fit it now until the other pieces are in, because those are more important. But then I have the custom lower control arms, custom upper control arms, which I have to tighten this nut. That reminds me. The just 1/6 brakes, but new bearings, pressed in ARP studs. Everything's good. The whole rear end is assembled. I may end up, like I said in the last clip or 2 clips ago, I may end up upgrading these. They've always worked fine. I've never had an issue with them. But the way this side was eating pads is concerning. And these rotors are looking a little rough. I mean, I guess I could paint them and clean them up, but new rotors, bigger brakes might be a cool idea. We'll see if I want to do that down the road. As of right now, with it rolling, that's all I'm really concerned about. I'm going to go ahead and bolt check this, assemble it, and put it back on dollies, and that's it for this video. So I'll just time lapse that, because why not? And that is where it will rest for a little bit. The rear end is officially done. This video is probably kind of long. I apologize. I like to get kind of into the nitty-gritty details. I don't know, maybe you guys are struggling with something that I showed you, the easy way to do it. I don't know. I enjoy that. So, car's turned around. It's pretty darn dusty. I've been working in here, so I guess it makes sense. But the rear end is done and dusted. The axle boot is very close to the coilover, so I'm gonna have to try and figure something out. That's what I was looking at under the car. If I have to raise it a little bit, because I'm gonna have to go to a bigger tire anyway, so I might have to raise it a touch, and then I can add a little bit more preload on the spring or something if I have to. It's just real close to those collars. I'll keep an eye on that, but for now it's on the ground, it's turned around. Whole rear end is done and dusted, and that feels good to check off the list. So I think the next step, I'm probably gonna have to start cutting up the bay. As sad as that sounds, I really don't want to, but you have to fit the big old V8 in there. I think that's next, and then paint the bay, decide what color I want to do. If I do gold again, I don't know. We'll see when I get there. That's a lot of options in the air. That's it for now though, so thanks for tuning in. If you want to see the rest of this build, I'm probably going to video most of it, if not all of it, and then driving after, so it'd be cool if you could subscribe. If not, no big deal. Comment and tell me what you would change. Obviously, I don't have a microphone on right now. It's literally sitting right there, but I'm supposed to go eat breakfast right now. So I film before work and after work, as you can tell from the times I said this in here. So setting up a camera, setting up a microphone, setting up the gimbal, setting up the tripod, takes time. I just would rather work on this and just set it up. If the sound's a little bit bad, sorry. I'll put the mic on sooner or later. That's that for this one though. Thank you.